Good evening, everybody. All right. Hope everybody's having a nice spring evening. Still pretty chilly here in Pittsburgh. It only gets up into the 50s. Seems more like fall weather. All right. We'll get started. Freeze warning. All right. Jeez. All right. I'm trying to think if there's anything I need to be reminding people of. I guess not. So we'll get started. Dow down a little bit today, but as you can see, it didn't change the trajectory. There was nothing that showed there was a major sell signal. Obviously, the market's probably moving sideways until the T-line catches up. And the reason it didn't look too compelling that this was a sell-off today is because at the same time the Dow was trading off, the NASDAQ was trading positive from where it opened. And as we can see, it closed up a little bit today. So the NASDAQ trading up, the Dow trading down, basically tells us there's really no change of investor sentiment. For those that haven't done the very basics, the 2-day online training seminar, you probably want to get signed up. That kind of puts things in order for everybody. That's so. Also, the people that are interested in going to Keuka Lake this summer, we will be up there. I think the first session starts on August 11th. Come in on the. I don't even know. It's August. Well, how about that? I think you come in on the 10th. We get started on the 11th, 12th, and the 13th. Yeah, I think we're Jim. You're out there taping, right? Okay. So, anyways, the market's still in a slow uptrend, which is good for us as candlestick investors because, as the kind of the newsletter implied tonight, that as long as there's not any major change of investor sentiment, we still have the advantage of seeing on which specific charts there's still strong buying or strong selling, depending on which way we think the market is going. But in this case, we still think there's good buying coming into this market, or at least there's not any severe selling or even profit taking at this point. It's been a healthy market because they sell it off in the morning, bring it back up in the afternoon. That means the profit taking's out of the way. S&P still moving up nicely. Let's see. Interest rates. Well. Interest rates seem to be trying to find a bottom in here, oversold area. Oh, wait a minute. Something is drastically wrong here. That's not a good chart. Hold on for a second. I'm going to close out this and try to get this set up correctly. All right, let's try this again. Well, what's happening here? Do it one more time. Region. Bring it all the way down here. And it's popping up there. So I do not know what is happening with this. Did it again. Okay, that time was better. All right. Okay, so interest rates, looks like bond prices have stopped their decline. I would suspect you'd start seeing a move back up. The dollar has been acting strong. The euro been acting weak. Very simple. If this one opens lower tomorrow, they're taking it down further. British pound, bearish engulfing. Doji sandwich tells us there's still more downside. Would be shorting this one, especially if it gets through the so it gets through the 200-day moving average. Okay. Let's see. I am short right now live cattle because it's still trading below the T line. And I went short sugar today. Had bearish signals. Came back down, could not get up above the T line. Now we're on the last support level. If they open this lower, we should be in the should be heading down into this direction. And let's see what some of the grains did today. The grains are been trading positive. The soybeans were up. Wheat kind of flat. Corn was up good. It needs to, as you can see, the stochastics aren't showing us anything of great dynamics here. But if it breaks up through the 50, it's going to have more upside. And can't think. Oh, gold. Gold still in kind of a slow rollover. Silver also just kind of a slow, steady downtrend. And crude oil prices looks like they've topped out again. Bearish Harami, if they open this lower tomorrow, that means they're taking gold or crude oil prices down further. Okay, I guess that's all right. Let me think. VCH was an example of why you want to hold. As long as they don't close below the T line, you still got this big kind of fry pan bottom, big fry pan bottom. Now you've broken out. Next target I would anticipate is the 200-day moving average. So the point I was making in the in the newsletter this afternoon was that there are still prices that are moving up, even if the market stays relatively sluggish, like we have seen in the Dow today, that it wasn't really going anywhere. But there was still some strong price movements based upon each individual chart pattern is telling you that there's an amount of bullish or bearish buying pressure. And so this buying pressure was being built up, and even though the Dow was down and the NASDAQ was flat, this had a good pop based upon what was occurring in each stock, individual stock price. Same thing with DDD. Ever since we've broken out through the kind of this little fry pan bottom breakout through the 50, they haven't been able to close this back below the T line. Still very strong price movements to the upside. Couple belt hold signals told us that they wiped out a lot of sellers in here and don't have too many sellers in the way of the bullish buying at this point. Vivus is a prime example of what we're going to be discussing tonight, kind of getting anticipating when the next price move is going to be. Here in Vivus, as we saw, we had the big bearish engulfing belt hold left-right combo that closed above the T line. Indecisive trading, and we know very simply on a double doji, if they open up positive, they're going to take it positive, and they're usually going to do a doji sandwich, which means this candle right here and this candle right here are equivalent. When it doesn't show an equivalent candle over here, what can we anticipate? We can still anticipate that the next day might have the same or another move to where this day and the next day are equivalent to this candle. If that's the case, if they start trading positive tomorrow, you probably want to be buying because it's going to have about this type of price move, number one. Number two, it's going to break out through a resistance level. So what the signals and the patterns kind of give us an advantage is it going to break out through here? Well, if we can see that it opens positive, we don't have to be waiting around to see. If they just start taking this positive immediately, we want to be buying immediately because we know what type of setups are occurring from a candlestick setup, or results are occurring from a candlestick setup, that we know a double doji sandwich is going to have this type of move, that type of move in that 2-day period instead of 1 day, takes you well above this resistance level. And anytime we can find information or be able to assess that this information is giving us a good probability of being the right trade at the right time, it just obviously gives us an advantage whether you're a day trader or a swing trader. It's going to put you in a position where you're already positive. So if we're looking for high probability trade setups, we can see that there's buying going on, and there's something that obviously is a resistance level. Let me see if I can do this without. And if there's a trend channel right here, pshaw, and they're breaking out through a trend channel, we know, especially on a good bullish signal, there's probably going to be more upside. If we recommended Con again the other day because if it broke out through this level, after being kind of squeezed up with the T-line, we were going to have a T-line crunch situation. Well, they took it up and brought it back down just above the breakout level, which gave us some very simple indication that if they opened up positive, this profit taking was over, they were going to take it up. So this morning, if you know that, have that knowledge, when they saw it open up positive this morning and start trading it positive, it told us exactly what was happening. The profit taking was over. We could now be well into wave 3, which might at least be this type of pop, especially if you're trading options. It gives you a good time frame or a good place to be ready to leverage money. Why didn't this one show up in the room? I'm just using this one as an example of what we're going to be looking at here in a few seconds. Because there was plenty of them that were acting like this back then. And we're going to get to them. I'm just showing this as an illustration that when you see a buy signal and a resistance level breakout, this is the type of results that can be expected. And so things like KERX. Make this a little bit bigger. We're right now at a breakout level that if they open this positive, it tells us this level is not holding anymore, that we're going to probably have some more upside. So some of these are going to be showing examples of what should happen, that if you break out through a resistance level, these are the type of results that you can expect, especially when you can see the type of signals or patterns, kind of a little piercing signal bouncing off the 50. T-line crunch pushing us up through this level. Let's see. I think Tesla was an example of this also. That coming out of a fry pan bottom, a big fry pan bottom, that we started getting this type of action. Also, when it broke to the upside right here, what do we know about a doji? We know that it's going to move in the direction how they open it after a doji. They opened it positive and started trading it positive. There was a good probability they were going to take this positive. So these little simple truisms are what you want to kind of keep getting in your brain. Again, very simply, the doji rule is if it's going to move in the direction how they open it after a doji. This is very important information. That here we had a positive day after this doji, after coming out of a fry pan bottom. What did that tell us? That we're probably going to be moving in this direction. In this case, probably a 45 degree. So somebody's asking, is this worrisome? Absolutely not. It's still right in this 45 degree, and it's probably just a little profit taking. And so we're going to go through a few of these. We did Tesla. ENPH. Another example. Breaking out through, especially this little resistance area. Let me see if I can do this. That's not what I want. I want pointer tools and a trend. All right, so if you can see there's obviously a little trend. This makes it very simple, knowing what to anticipate. Number one, we know the simple rule of doji. It's going to move in the direction how they open it after a doji. So if they move this positive the next day, let me make this bigger enough so we can see it. But if they opened up positive and started trading positive, what was it telling us? Number one, it was telling us they're going to trade positive that day. Number two, that tells us this little resistance level was going to be not a resistance level anymore. So essentially we can see we've had a wave one, a wave two that came right back to the T-line. Now we're having doji, bullish confirmation. We're probably starting wave 3. ALNY. Fry pan bottom. What should we be anticipating? That once we get up back to the level that it initially broke out or started, we should be looking for a breakout. If it does, we know we've got a strong price move. So that's why it's important to know which signals and what the results of signals and patterns should be. J-hook pattern. If it breaks out through this level, what should we anticipate? Well, number one, notice what they did. They've gapped it up first time, gapped it up a second time through this level. Now gapped it up a third time. We can definitely tell that we're in wave 3. And if we were sitting here with a kind of a morning star and a doji gap up, what should we expect the next day if stochastics are coming back? A positive open, or at least more upside. They open up positive. Another simple rule. If we know that this is our resistance level, stochastics have some juice built back up on it, and they gap it up right before the resistance level, everybody can see this was a potential resistance level, but if they're gapping up, that means they probably have no regard anymore for this resistance level. They're going to go through. If they go through here, what do we got going for us? Wave 3 of a J-hook pattern. So I'm reiterating these just because this is what gives you the advantage of getting in early on a good trade. Comes up, consolidates, but as we can see, we've got this little resistance level. Now we've got a left-right combo. What's it tell us if they open positive? Number one, the T-line is probably not going to act as resistance. Number two, it's confirming our left-right combo. Number three, it's telling us this little downtrend is not acting as resistance. We're in another wave. We're probably got some more upside. Is it going to move big and move big? I have no idea. We just know the probabilities are that we're probably headed in the right direction. J-hook pattern is very simple. You have a strong price move, then it pulls back, and it's usually a very indecisive pullback. And then we start seeing buy signals again. Stochastics don't get anywhere near the oversold area. Here's kind of another example. Strong price move, pulls back, indecisive trading. They start curling it back up. That's kind of a little scoop type J-hook pattern. And when they come out the other side, it's usually going to be a strong price move. We'll have some more J-hook patterns here as we go through. Let's see, we did KERX. Netflix is a perfect example of knowing our little truisms. Gap up, sideways. Then all of a sudden we start seeing a scoop pattern. So we know what the result of a scoop pattern is. Usually it's a good, strong slingshot effect to the upside. What made it even more compelling is after a good, strong price move, we had a doji. Where did the doji occur? Right here at this resistance level, the handle. So it made it very simple. If it opened positive today, we have a doji sandwich. If we have a doji sandwich, this trading day and this trading day will probably be pretty close to equivalent. And if this trading day is close to being equivalent to this trading day, that pretty much tells us that they're not resisting anymore in here, that we're getting our slingshot effect. DLDR. Another one where we can see that there was a downtrending channel. And where was it? Right here about our resistance level. They broke through there, took it up. This is what I also consider a J-hook pattern. A nice strong price move. Notice the pullback. Doji, 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 doji. I don't know. Did my microphone move away? I don't think so. How's that? All right. So they pulled back, and where they pulled back to? Right to the T line. Then what do we have? A left-right combo. So this tells us that there was indecisive pullback. When you see them pulling back and it's not very decisive, that pretty much tells you the nature of the selling. It's profit taking. Get ready for the next move to the upside. So with, again, these simple analytical evaluations, it allows you to get set up to be in the right position at the right time without having to sit there and wait for something to happen. SGMO started an uptrend with a doji in the oversold area, followed by a gap up. Yesterday, what is today? Friday, it closed right on the T line, which made today's trading very simple. If it opened lower and started trading off, it told us the T line was going to act as resistance. However, we're just coming out of our oversold condition with a gap up doji and a close right on the T line. If they opened up positive and started trading positive, what's that tell us? Pretty much tells us the force of this gap up is not resisting at the T line anymore. Where's our next target? Up here at the 50. Once it gets there, what's it going to do? That we'll have to see once it gets there. But we can assume that if they open positive at this level, you want to be buying. They're not going to be resisting there anymore. And that was SMGO. JSO, one of the solars. This is a J-hook pattern. Strong price move, a pullback, indecisive trading. There's your left-right combo, and they've brought it right back up again. Your stochastics curling back up. Today they did a doji inverted hammer at the breakout. So this makes it very simple. If they open this positive, it tells us the profit taking's over. You might have a doji sandwich, which puts you into wave 3, number 1. Number 2, it's moving you away from this resistance level. So if it opens positive tomorrow, very simply, you want to be buying early with the anticipation you're going to have this type of magnitude of a trading range for that day, and you know where your stop loss is. Shouldn't close, probably shouldn't even trade back below this level. If it opens positive, it's telling us they should be going positive. You don't want to see it come back down through that level. Why is this not a shooting star? Where are your stochastics? Number 1. I'll answer it because I probably won't see the answer somewhere. Number 1, you're not in the overbought condition. Number 2, is this at a top of a trading range, or is this just breaking out of a J-hook pattern? Well, if it's just breaking out of the J-hook pattern, all this was an update that's sold off. So a shooting star is going to be more apt to be at the top of a, we'll find something that looks more like a shooting star. But remember, a formation isn't necessarily a signal unless it's occurring in the right condition of a market. So anyways, that's not a shooting star because you're not in the overbought area, number 1, and you just broke out through the resistance level for a J-hook pattern. Okay, what was that? So if we're looking for a positive open, when it just breaks out through a resistance level, that tells us the profit taking's over, which is exactly what we had suggested for CON, that it broke out through the resistance level but came back down. Was this a shooting star? No, because we weren't in the overbought area at that time. And it was very simple. If they opened up positive, what did it tell us? That this profit taking was over. They were going to take it right back up again. So if they took it right back up, what's that telling us? They did break out through this level, and they're going higher. All right. CLDX. This is one you want to watch for tomorrow. What do you have setting up here? First of all, you've got a little morning star type signal with a bullish engulfing signal right here at the 50. Today they confirmed by closing above the T line. Stochastics coming out of the oversold area heading up. If they open this positive, what's that also telling us? That they're breaking through this little downward trend channel that we're probably wave 1, wave 2, starting wave 3. And UTHR, Doji, bullish engulfing signal, right at the 50 after look how indecisive your pullback is. So there's your strong price move. There's your J-hook pattern setup. There's your J-hook. So wave 3 should be equivalent to wave 1. So if you're buying calls right here, at least you know what your timing is. They took this up in 4 or 5 days. You could even buy the Mays here and probably make some good money. But I've opted to go with the Junes just to be a little bit more comfortable. And so if this was a good positive trade today after the left-right bullish engulfing signal. It's still a good trade because if it opens positive tomorrow and starts heading up, what's it doing? It's breaking out through this level, telling me I'm into wave 3. So let's see, whoops, one more in that category, MTG. MTG, is there a resistance level? Pretty much. You can probably draw pretty much draw a line right through the tops here. And that's kind of a resistance level. So if they open this positive tomorrow, what's it telling us? These resistance levels probably are not existing anymore. We should be breaking out into possibly another wave up. Will wave up move this strong? Not necessarily, but once everybody sees that it breaks out through this kind of congestion area, they start buying again, and that usually gives you a good strong price move. Yes, a Doji bullish engulfing is the left-right combo. A Doji followed by a gap up is your best friend. Let's see. SGEN. Notice everything that's happened on this one. Doji, kind of a morning star with 2 indecisive trading days, a close above the T line, a breakout through this downtrending channel, and then today's Doji makes this very simple. Stochastics coming up. We're probably in an uptrend. So if this opens positive, what are we looking for? Probably a Doji sandwich, which means if it moves about that magnitude, it's going to come up here and pretty much test the recent high. If it closes up there, now we look forward again to break out through there. So again, we're able to anticipate what should happen based upon, again, the simple rules of the candlesticks. The Doji is going to move in the direction of how they open it. On the other hand, if they open this negative, you don't want to touch it because they're probably going to take it down and bounce off the T-line. Now, is that bad? We won't know. If it closes right on the T-line, that tells us if there is an uptrend, it's probably going to be a very slow, stagnant uptrend. If they open it lower and come down, touch the T-line and close it back up as a Doji, now you've still got a double Doji potential the next day. What about the stochastics on MTG? Nah. If it breaks out through a resistance level after a T-line line crunch. That tells us where it doesn't matter where it tells us we're back to where the enthusiasm will now start pushing this stock price up. So remember, a doji or a signal usually has more relevance with the stochastics. Usually you're looking for a buy signal in the oversold area. A pattern is usually going to break out when all the enthusiasm starts coming back into the stock price, and that's usually going to occur when the stochastics are in the overbought condition. Now here's a J-hook pattern. Very strong price move. Then they pull it back. Indecisive. Now what do we have? We've got a series of dojis. And remember, if a doji tells you there's indecision, a series of dojis tells you there's greater indecision. There's your left-right combo, taking it back up above the T-line. There's your kind of your little spinning top doji, which makes this very simple. If they open this positive, we're probably going to have a doji sandwich. If we have a magnitude move of this, why don't we make this smaller so we can squint? If we have a magnitude move of this tomorrow, where's that put us? Up above this level. That tells us where our wave 3 is in progress. So very simple. Buying on a positive open, anticipating it's going this way. Do not want to see it trade back down below the low of today. That would tell us that that's not working. You want to be right back out of the trade. Where do you enter a J-hook pattern? Anywhere. Depends on your risk reward. Today would have been a good day to be entering AKLS. Tomorrow will be a good day on a positive open to be entering. You can be either entering it here as it's starting to come back up, or you can be entering it after it comes up through this level. All depends on what your, obviously, if you enter it here, your probabilities of being in the third wave are better, but your profitability is a little bit lower. On the other hand, if you enter down here, your upside potential is much better, plus your downside stop loss is a little bit easier. If it opened here and came back and closed down here, you would be right back out of the trade because that would be negating your J-hook pattern setup. So your stop loss would be much closer, making your losses that much smaller. S.NQ. Doji. So if it opened positive tomorrow, what would that tell us? That this level right here is not acting as a resistance, that we're still in an uptrend, probably breaking out into new territory. So I'm looking for things that I know that if I get into them on the open, with a positive open where the probabilities are much greater that things are going to be going up. What is that? NVGO. What about NVBO? That one's not working. I don't know. ROVI, for example. ROVI. Told us that we wanted to be in on a positive. Notice the series of dojis, kind of the J-hook pattern here. Open positive today. Wanted to be in it, but did a doji today. Makes it very simple for our decision tomorrow. If this opens positive tomorrow, what's that telling us? Doji sandwich. If we have a doji sandwich of this magnitude, we're breaking out through this level. That tells us we're now back up into this trend channel. We could be going on a 45 degree from there. Anybody asking questions, don't worry. We will get to all the questions before you go to bed tonight. BV or BCOV, kind of a T-line crunch right up into this resistance level. Doji, again, if this opens positive tomorrow, they're breaking through this level. Where's our obvious target? Coming out of the scoop pattern. Still in an uptrend, probably heading for the 200-day moving average. And CNPO. Maybe it's CNDO. Another morning star type signal, closed right about halfway point, makes this very simple. This opens positive tomorrow with stochastics coming out of the oversold area. What's that telling us? Number one, it's confirming the morning star signal. Number two, it's telling us the T-line's not acting as resistance anymore. Number three, it's breaking this downward trend channel. That tells us wave 3 could be as substantial as this wave right here. And ARRY, where'd this bounce off? Right off the 50-day moving average with a bullish engulfing. Closes back up above the T-line. If this opens positive, what's it telling us? We're continuing because we're breaking out through this little downtrending channel. So these are the reason you want to find the ones that are giving us good signals, patterns, and coming out of a resistance area is because everybody else is probably watching that resistance area. And if it goes through the resistance area, they're probably getting ready to buy based upon some further confirmation. Where we already know our confirmation is buy signals off of major support levels. Closed right on the T-line makes this very simple. If it opens positive tomorrow, it's still confirming our signal. Stochastics will be coming up. Wave 1, wave 2, starting wave 3, telling us the T-line is now, instead of a resistance level, it's going to be acting as a support. That was ASTX. And IMMR. Oh, another example. There's our little morning star signal. There's our resistance level. When they went through, this is what the expected results should be. All right, let's see. Let's take a look at a few more. JKS, one of the solars, still acting well. Again, if this opens positive after the bullish engulfing, breaks out through this level, it takes us into wave 3. High probability trade. TSL. TSL. Kind of a spinning top doji. If this opens positive tomorrow, another possibility of a doji sandwich with this type of magnitude of trading day. And out of a fry pan bottom. That's the type of results we expect coming out of one of these. So that means things like INCY, fry pan bottom, just starting to move up. This one you can be buying with the anticipation they're getting close enough to fill this gap, and if they break out through this level, you could have another 6 to 8 points breakout to the upside. Would that be considered, Randy, you always have to put the stock that we're looking at so we move so fast. All right, Sam, good. You study your flashcards all night. You can have pull an all-nighter if need be. ABA. Why do I have, oh, that's the R on ABA, that's why. Fry pan bottom, they're starting to come out the other side. This one you can be buying on positive trading with the anticipation that if they break out through this level, you're going to have this type of wave starting up. All right, we'll get. Don't worry, you'll see plenty. Sony, even though this is harder to follow because of the ADS trading overseas, you can see that there's a fry pan bottom, and where did they break out? They broke out today through this level. That tells me there's going to be more upside. And where did this break out? Stochastics were up here in the overbought area. That's where the enthusiasm starts coming in. In MM, oh, try this MM. Another big fry pan bottom. I'd be buying this one on positive trading over the next couple of days because we're getting right near where the handle or where this all started to be traded indecisively. If they start trading this strong, where can they go? From here, probably up to the 200-day moving average. 3.5 points on a 740 stock, about a 50% price move. That's what we're looking for. Susie, obviously when these breakout stocks are going to have a little bit more sluggishness to them, or the probabilities of them breaking out become less. That's why the first analysis that you do every day is, what is the market doing? Now, if I was going to buy this on positive trading tomorrow, and I woke up tomorrow and the pre-market futures showed the Dow down 120 points, obviously I'm not going to jump into a stock situation where there's probably a lot of investor selling going on in the market. But I will watch it because, remember, each stock has its own characteristics, and if they start trading this positive, even though the market is down 120 points, then you want to jump in because each candlestick signal and pattern is the cumulative knowledge of everybody buying and selling. And so if they're buying this one and the market's down 120 points, everybody knows the market's down 120 points. They're still buying. That means there's something else going on. Would you put a buy stop? You can always do that. If you don't know, want to sit around waiting for this, you put a buy stop right up here. Because if you find a level that tells you they've come out of that that range, yeah, you want to get locked in as fast as possible as it's coming up without having to have your money tied up. ACAD, another little slow rounding curve. They couldn't get back below where they opened it on the gap up. This tells me they're starting back up again. Very simply, if it opens positive, you use the T line as your stop. IRWD, another one that's series of dojis. Now you're back up above the T line. Your next target at least is up here. So even though that target may not be far away, at least you know when you're buying, you've already got some running room to make some profits before you might get to a level where it decides it's time to take profits. Yeah, hold on to your individual stock requests. When I tell Jim to do the double line, then you can type it in. And I'll get to as many as I can without us all falling off and falling over in our chairs. And so there's another one that's kind of pushing up to this resistance level. That's what the T-line crunch is. If it keeps pushing it until you get to a resistance level, that usually means they're going to push it through. So I think that's about it for tonight. Again, as long as the markets aren't showing anything, even though they might be flat and soggy, there's still going to be stocks that have good price movements, and we can identify which ones those are. Do we anticipate more buying exuberance coming into the markets? Just try to prepare for any sudden pullback. Cartech, we can't ever tell when the sudden pullback is going to occur. Now, you're usually going to get an indication that on the pre-market futures, because if something's going to create a pullback in the markets, it's usually going to happen overnight, unless during the day you have Bernanke or somebody coming out with some statement that nobody expects. But right now, all you can anticipate is that the investor sentiment has not changed. It's slow uptrend, and the longer an uptrend remains in progress, the more severe you need to see the sell signal to tell you there's going to change in investor sentiment. Okay, so let's take any general questions on candlesticks. Remember, yeah, save your individual stock requests for after the double line. I watched the recording of the scan webinar, but couldn't see the formulas. Are there a set of scans that you use for TC2000, or are they proprietary? If available, where can I find them? Yeah, as you can see, everything that we've got is highly secretive on our website. It's all there. D. Stockton, if you will go to, I don't know how to do this. If you go to our website, over on the left-hand side, the very first thing on the left-hand side, I think says stocks, or I can't even remember. I haven't looked at it in so long. But if you click on that, and you click on the next, you're going to see a page where the left-hand column will have TC2000 stock formulas or signal formulas. It's all on there. Oh, good. Somebody probably is giving you, probably giving you the links right here to go find them. Let's see. Where's a good place to go for pre-market futures? If you turn on CNBC or even Bloomberg, they will usually have the pre-market futures going across, and they'll usually say, "Oh, it looks like the market's going to open up down 50 points or up 50 points." So that's a good place. Or I know on a lot of the trading softwares, if you, for example, when I have my TOS account up, I have the YMs in there, which is the futures for the Dow. I can see what they're trading, whether they're positive or negative. Let's see. All right, where is it going? Okay, where can we find the PDF for? Okay, I hope somebody's put in the links for that for you. Explain left-right combo. Left-right combo is a doji followed by a bullish engulfing signal. And where did we see one? Oh, that's kind of one right there. We have a doji followed by a bullish engulfing signal. That's just barely, but usually you'll see the doji, and then the next day a bullish engulfing signal. Oops, scrolled past me again. Yeah, okay. Also, when you're putting in your stock requests tonight, because of the number of people we have in here, just make it a 2 so that we're not here all night long. Let's see. You just said the longer the uptrend, the more severe to look for a downturn or something like that. Would you explain? Usually, a steady uptrend is not going to have just a very mild sell signal. It's usually going to be a severe sell signal. And for example, if if we saw kind of just mild selling, it wouldn't, like confirmation selling here and it closed below the T line with just little trades, it probably wasn't a reversal, it's just a pullback. However, if we saw them gap it up and immediately started selling off and then closed down here with a huge bearish engulfing signal, that tells you there's been a definite change of investor sentiment. Back to the question, is it proprietary? There's nothing proprietary in what we teach here. This stuff has been around for 400 years. It works, or it wouldn't be around for 400 years. All we're trying to do is learn how to use it effectively. Clarification of a J-hook. Do we wait for the breakout through the resistance, or if the buy signal and over the T line, we can buy? Again, the buy depends on what your risk reward factor is. On a J-hook pattern, if you see a buy signal and a close above the T line, yeah, you can be buying with the anticipation that when it moves up to the previous recent high, let's see, which was the J-hook pattern? Was Vivus? Yeah, so you're either buying on the signal with the first anticipation of moving back up to the recent high, or more conservatively, you can buy once it goes through the recent high, knowing that you're in wave 3. Signal well below the T line, do you buy sometimes? Yes. The further away you move from the T line, the higher the probability after you see a candlestick signal confirmed, it's going to move back up to test the T line. So if that's a good percentage away, the worst case scenario is going to be that you're buying, it goes up, tests the T line and fails, and you come back out, you're probably going to come out with a little bit of a profit. So anytime you can come out with a little bit of a profit on a bad trade, that's all right. Let's see. Whoops. ECTY. Yeah, that's a J-hook. It's where you've taken it up, it's pulled back, and now indecisive trading started to take it back up. So you could either have been buying here with the anticipation that once it got up to this level, you watch to see what it does, or you can be buying here knowing that it broke out through this level. So down here, if you bought, you know your risk-reward factor is up here's your first resistance level, then it could go through, and or if it opened here and closed back down here, you were out with a small loss. On the other hand, if you're more conservative, you wait for it to break through, you're not going to make as much money, but your probabilities of being in a uptrend are that much greater. How do you define a doji? I thought it was an open and close approximately the same level. Yes, and or if it looks like a spinning top. Remember, a doji, spinning top are all indecisive trading days. So I consider this a doji versus a spinning top. I consider this a doji versus a spinning top because it's telling me there's indecision there. So it doesn't matter whether you call it a doji or a spinning top, it's still telling you there's indecision between the bulls and the bears. What is your average holding period? Anywhere from 2 to 10 trading days. I'm a swing trader. But if I can find a situation where I can get into a trade knowing that it's going to have a big day and it does it early, I'll get out of it the same day. There's a lot of times. Ray, I did, and she was supposed to have called you. I'll prod her. Never be sorry for a newbie question. Usually a question that you're asking, anybody asking, is probably something other people want to know also. But the volume stocks, wouldn't you be worried swinging them, as I would think a lot of them may be subject to pump and dump or being vulnerable to a few big investors? I'm looking for stock volume that's 200,000 shares or bigger, and they're usually been around for a while. So, no, I'm not concerned about pump or dump, because if I can see there's buying going on, I don't care who and why they're buying. If the signal is correct and the pattern is correct, I want to be buying with them. So, no, I'm not concerned about pump or dumps. How do you choose a strike price on options, in the money or out? JM, we're going to be starting our option training probably this week, maybe starting Wednesday night if I can get everything put together. It'll be our basic, but we'll go into all that, and it's usually based on the math, which makes the most sense for what the price move looks like it has the capable of doing. The scans should be available for NinjaTrader. I've got to get back with them. I know they put some on. I'll have to check to see where they are and whether we need to update them. You said we would buy euro if it opened positive tomorrow, or if it opens. I say it is always open. So when do you make that decision? Let's see. The euro right now. Whoops. Let's see. Is it UEM3? Is that open? UAM3. I guess that's trading right now. So yeah, if it's trading, I would, if it had been opening or trading down this direction, yes, I would be buying, or I would be shorting. The fact that they've opened it and started taking it up a little bit, no, I wouldn't necessarily be buying either until it got up above the T-line. Why? Because the stochastics aren't to the oversold area. CNN has pre-market page. Okay. All right. There's some other places where you can find the pre-market futures. They're at 8.49. What are your top 5 patterns you scan for end of day? Samantha, the only one I really scan for is right now with the market up as big as it is, or as steady as it is, my basic scan is which stocks have had the biggest percent price moves today. Usually, and that's using the whole trading universe of approximately 2,700 stocks. Usually, probably using that scan, I'll find the best trades using candlestick signals, probably within the first 10, 12, 15 charts that I scan. And I can do that visually by going down through those charts probably in about 10, 15 seconds and hit the 4 or 5 best, and then keep going from there. Then I'll go to the kicker signal, because we know the kicker signal is our strongest signal. Your book, Eliminating Emotions, is a must reading. Well, thank you, Bill. I had asked people for their faux-pas or their mental bugaboos that they had, but most of them just kind of repeated what I had for my lifetime, so it just kind of reinforced that those were the ones. Scans for TOS. I was supposed to be working with TOS with Tom Sazanoff, but we were just in the process of doing all our scanning stuff just as he sold out to Ameritrade, so that all got put on the back burner. Option class, Augie, we should be starting one this week, and then we'll try to get 2 probably be a total of 5. One this week, then start 2 next week and 2 the week after that. On E-mini SPY day trade, can you show an example of a sell signal, a sell when the price has moved away from the T line but no sell signal? Rob, why don't you ask that again tomorrow in the chat room? We'll find something live at that point. What is a morning star? That's your basic. This is a morning star right here. A down day, an indecision day, and the third day comes back up more than halfway up that candle. Tom, that's a basic. That's that you should be studying either in your flashcards or in book 1 or book 2. A belt hold. A belt hold is when they trade it way away from the previous trading range. They gap it well below a previous trading range and then bring it back up into the trading range. That's a belt hold. It's basically the sumo wrestlers fighting. One's trying to back out of the ring, the other one grabs his belt and pulls them back into the ring, and they're back to fighting again. And let's see. SBH, that's a belt hold where they drop it way down below and bring it back up into the trading range. Or DRIV, another big belt hold and bring it back up. And what happens on a belt hold is they've wiped out a lot of the sellers, or most of the sellers, if not all the sellers, and there's no more sellers. The bull's taking control. That's why the uptrend is usually so strong, is because there's no sellers in the way. Okay, let's see. Whoops, did I scroll way back? I guess I went backwards here. Did you ever explain any special considerations when using candles for Forex, including what strategy might work best hourly? John, they work just as well for anything that has fear and greed in it. So no matter what market you're trading, it works well. Now, the problem with Forex is you don't have a daily open and close, but you can use whatever time frame you want to be trading, depending on how fast you trade. So that's up to you to see whether your signals show you good reversals on an hourly, on a 10-minute, on a 3-minute, depending on how fast you want to trade. If you're trading 30 trades a day, you're probably using the 1-minute, 3-minute, 10-minute combination. If you're trading 2 trades a day, you might be using the 10-minute, 30-minute, 60-minute combination. Is it possible to have a candlestick below the T line with the stochastics in or near overbought conditions? Not usually. Usually the T line will be, if you're in an overbought condition, the T line is usually along with the uptrend. Let's see. In short, you don't look for textbook perfect candlestick signal. Just try to understand the psychology. Yes, but you will find textbooks perfect signals. Right here, you have a hammer signal, bullish confirmation the next day, stochastics coming up. You can go to almost any chart you want to, and it will show you some type of buy signal right at the appropriate places. And that's how I learned candlesticks. The rationale was, if there were candlestick signals at the reversals with stochastics in the oversold area, I should see a buy signal. What was this? I learned that was kind of a piercing signal. What was this right here? There's your left-right combo. There's your hammer signal. So now, I learned the 50 or 60 signals, but I discovered the 12 that we're learning are the only ones that really showed up. The rest of them never showed up enough to spend time or effort trying to learn them. Do you have any training for TOS users? Not specifically, Ray. Most of the trainings we do are kind of generic that can be applied to any of the softwares. Okay. There's flashcards, and if you go to services and products, it's in there. What are your commission costs, and which broker do you recommend? Oh, I use a lot of my option and commodity trading is through TOS, and it varies. Some of them are $1.50 a transaction. Some of them are $7 a transaction. All depends on which company I'm using. I use RJ O'Brien. I use for commodities, but all of them have pluses and minuses. Some of them with a little bit more expensive commodity or the expensive commissions give you better executions. So it kind of all works out in the wash. Is the ebook on website? Which ebook is that, Vic? Let's see. I'm still scrolling down. Well, yeah, the option classes will be recorded. The flashcards are on the website. What usually causes a bell hold? Usually some sort of announcement that is perceived as bad, but then as they get thinking about it, they realize it's not so bad, and so it's kind of washed out the weak and they've sold into the strong. You never mentioned the 5 minutes. Is there a problem with that one? No, I use the 5 minute. If I'm looking at a 10-minute chart, so let's see if I have some examples from. If I'm looking at, this is the daily chart on cattle. So if I don't think cattle's in the overbought or oversold condition yet, and I see a big move like this, then I just flip over to the 10-minute chart. That's not good. Trade off the 10-minute chart. So if there was a move like this, and then I started seeing them backing it off, and then they finally close below the T line, I'm fine. Or I start reshorting, and but if I see that we're getting close or that they aren't taking it up anymore, then I flip to my 5-minute chart and say, what's the 5-minute chart telling me? It's going to be a little bit faster. All right, the 5-minute chart right now is trading below the T line and still looks weak. What's that tell me about my 10-minute chart? It means that's going to be weaker. That means it's going to come down below the T line. There is an emotions ebook, I think, but it's more expensive than the book itself. If I were you, I'd just buy the emotions book. That's cheaper. Okay. With proper buy signal, do you buy with your normal number of shares and a stock price below $5? Not always. Again, if I've got a bigger account, obviously we can't go in and buy a big, huge amount. If it's a $2 stock, I usually call those my play trades. I may only buy just a few $1,000s worth. Say, for example, if my normal trade was $25,000, and I saw, which one did we do the other day? That was a buck. Affy, thank you. Whoops, what did I do wrong here? I want to get to the daily. Oh, I am on the daily. All right. All right. The other day, Affy did a breakout. Now, this is only $1 stock, and I was looking at my account, and I only had, I have, all my accounts are usually 100% invested. Not necessarily all long or short, but in a combination where that every dollar is usually spent out. So if I've got a, let's say, for example, $100,000 in my play account and trading options, commodities, and I looked at my account and it was all invested except for $1,200, and I could buy 1,000 shares for $1,100. That's where I will do a play transaction and buy 1,000 shares just to watch it. What size do you consider ideal for a trading account? As much money as you're comfortable with putting in. One person may have $2 million in their accounts. Another person may have 20,000 or even 5,000. So it's not a matter of what size is the optimal size. It's how much money do you want to put in the market, because obviously you want to maximize the returns from whatever money you're putting in the market. So it doesn't matter what amount it is. Let's see. Look at the link right side. All right. Do you see any advantage to trading the smaller volume stocks? For example, bigger or faster moves, or do you just look at them as the same as a high volume stock and is just part of your universe of stocks? Yeah, the low volume stocks I stay away from, because when I get ready to get out of a position, I want to sell it. I don't want to be sitting around for 20 minutes, 40 minutes, 2 hours to close out a position. I want to be able to have it, put it in there, sell it, and have it executed immediately so I can move that money to something else. Yeah, my portfolio management is that if I've got $100,000 in an account to trade, I have 10 equal dollar amount positions, $10,000 per trade. The reason for that is our biggest faux pas in our trading is our own emotions. And if you put $40,000 in one position and $8,000 in another position, which position do you think you're going to be scrutinizing all day long? It's going to be the $40,000 position. And if you have a big position that you decided it was going to go up and it doesn't go up, you sit there and think, this one I knew was going to go up, so I'm just going to wait for everybody to take it up, instead of saying, all right, this unit is not working, close it out, and move on to something else. The Emotions book is on the website. All the books are there. No unannounced bonus heading. Options trades get the same allocation as stock trades. No, if I've got, let's say, $100,000 account, I might decide one position, one $10,000 position is going to be allocated to options. Now, I might have 3 option trades in that, using that $10,000, so maybe $3,500 an option trade. So now instead of having 10 positions to watch, I've got 12 to watch, but that's still not outlandish. Okay, I'm looking to buy my first stock. What do you recommend between, Jim, I don't recommend any between a certain stock price. Just watch. Once we do the double line, you just watch and see which one looks good to you, and I'll kind of give a dissertation. So with that, Jim, go ahead and do the double line. And in 8.4 seconds, do the second double line. Okay. All right, the second double line, Jim. There you go. All right. Let's see what we got here. Got a few of you that jumped the gun. But they're ones that are going to be what everybody's looking at. So Pfizer, you can be buying. This is going to be the breakout of that. You've got bullish confirmation and a little hammered star back up above the T line. This one you can be buying tomorrow on positive trading. Just don't let it close below the T line. RACS, I probably would leave alone. The first thing it's probably going to do is come up and meet the T line, but then you don't know what it's going to do from there. I'd be trading something else. LEDS. This one, that's your left-right combo. The little spinning top doji followed by a bullish engulfing signal. Notice what it did. It bounced off the 50, closed above the T line. This one you can be buying on positive trading. AFI did an inverted hammer doji or a gravestone doji today, which means it has to open positive to stay in it. If it opens negative, that's telling you that they're going to move it in the direction how they open it after a doji, which means they're back down below the T line. They've failed in here. So this has to open positive to stay in it. KORS did a little gap up, not through any resistance level. So I would use yesterday's or Friday's close. It should not come back down through that area. If it does, close out the position. They're coming back to test the T line. And Ever did a bearish engulf or a bearish left-right combo. Doji, overbought condition, right on the T line. If this opens lower tomorrow, you can probably even be shorting this one with the anticipation it's coming back down to the 50. If you're long, this one has to open higher and trade higher to stay in it. VIPS, this one you should be out of. And this one you can be shorting if they open it lower tomorrow, because you'll have your bearish doji sandwich. First Solar has that move, 45 degree. There's kind of your little J hook right there. But you have a doji. And so here's another one that I'd put a sell stop right here at yesterday's or Friday's close. If it comes down through there, it's at least coming back to test the T line. XONE, another one that follows the same industry as DDD. This one was a gap up in the oversold area. I would put a sell stop at where it closed. Or I'm sorry, at the low. If it comes down through there, the sellers are in control. They're going to bring it back to the T lines. Seco, still on a fry pan bottom. You stay long. What you really want to scrutinize is as it gets close to this level right here, that's where you're going to possibly see a breakout. And BlackBerry, another one that you can be buying on positive trading, because if it breaks through this little resistance level, they could be breaking this out into wave 3. And Goog, little indecisive, but nothing yet that tells us that we're still not in an uptrend, or we're still not in an uptrend. So you stay long until you see a sell signal. I would probably use any trading below or stop below today's low. It needs to stay above that level. If it comes back down through there, looks like there'd be some profit taking back to the T line. And CZR, this is a good looking chart, bouncing off the 50 after again that letter left right. This one you can be buying on positive trading tomorrow. And SQNM, this is where whenever you see a gap up and see a doji, it's very simple. They open up positive, that tells you the profit taking of the doji day is over. They're still taking it up. I wouldn't be afraid to be a buyer, and I'd still use the doji as my stop. Whenever you see that gap up, especially when it breaks out through a downtrend like this, that tells you there's a new dynamic. They're probably going to be moving higher from this point. Mako, doji sandwich potential. Now, if this opens higher, it's going to the 200. If it opens lower, they're probably coming back to test the 50. Very simply, it's going to move in the direction of how they move it after a doji. DEC, another one that has to open positive to stay in it, if you're in it. If it opens lower, it's back below the T line, which means there's not very much energy in this. You want to be back out of it. Okay, reports tomorrow. Thank you, JC. TSO. Whoops. No, you've got a little bit of hope. Now, you should have been out of it when it closed back below the T line. But it closed right back up in here with kind of a little bullish engulfing signal. So if it opens positive, you stay with it. If it opens negative and trades down, you probably want to close out the position. And FTK. This one you want to be buying on positive trading, because you'd be breaking out through this level. If it opens lower, you're still caught in this kind of sideways action. But I'd put a buy stop at 17. If it comes up through that level, you want to be buying. Let's see. Lock sold off today, which means it closed right on the T line. The only way to stay in this one is to have it open positive and trade positive. If it opens lower, close out the position. You can always buy it back if it comes back up through the T line. Oh, shuzzbutts. Let's see what's happening here. Mind speed. Stay long until you see a sell signal and a close below the T line. CLF. Stay long until you see a sell signal and a close below the T line. MNKD. This one, doing a doji sandwich. Notice your kicker signal. Fry pan bottom. Gap up. This one's very simple. If it opens positive tomorrow, you want to be buying immediately. Just use today's low as your stop. If it opens positive, it should not come back down to this level. It should be going that direction. Let's see, what did we just look at? MNKD. There's your J-hook pattern. Notice came up, pulled back indecisively, couldn't get back through the T line. Now you've got a J hook. Now if this opens positive, it's pretty much breaking through this downtrending channel. This one you want to get ready to buy. That's Burger King. SCMP. Another one that can be bought on positive trading. You can see the slow rounding curve. This one you want to be buying on positive trading tomorrow. I use the halfway point of today's candle as your stop. In NVDQ, okay, NVDQ, that might have been what I was looking for. That's what it was. There's the doji right here at the resistance level. If this opens positive tomorrow, you can be buying because that tells you they're going positive, which means they're breaking out through this area. Look for it. If it does a doji sandwich, that day and this day should almost bring you right back up to the highs. PMTI. That's as flat as a pancake. That one looks like a low volume stock but you can be buying this one as long as it stays above the T line. Okay. Now, why are we still scrolling here? ACTV. This one you stay long, especially if it opens positive tomorrow, with the slow curve probably taking you up to the 200. And that was ACT. And how to get way down there? Okay. Oh, GMCR. This one's probably in a 45 degree after this rounding bottom gap up. Look for it to can move in that direction. And PWR. That's a doji at the top. Now this one you got to be very careful. Again, I would either put a stop at below today's low for half a position, but if it came down through there, I want to be out of half a position and put another stop below the close of Friday. If it came down through there, you want to be out of the whole position. And Yoku, left-right combo, doji, hammer, right here in the T line. This one you want to be buying on positive trading tomorrow. And MCP broke out nicely. Did some consolidation today, but if it opens positive or it comes back up through the close of this candle, you want to be buying. They're probably going to take it right up here to the 200. Why? Because of your best friend, doji, followed by a gap up. GNW. Another J-hook type pattern, bouncing or kind of your morning star left-right combo right off the T line. This one you want to be buying. This little downward trend would be out of the way. Buy on positive trading. Boom, I haven't seen this one in years. Now, if it opens positive, you've got a doji sandwich, and you're breaking through the 50, you'd be buying immediately because they'll probably have the same type of move as this. Notice the T line kind of pushing you up out of this fry pan bottom, breaking out through the 50, should take you eventually up to test the recent highs. GA, there's your belt hold. This one you stay long as it stays above the T line, and if this opens positive tomorrow after a double doji day, you want to be buying immediately. They'll be taking it up. And Cree, stay long as it stays above the T line. That's all you can say about that one. GST. another one where you just stay long as it stays above the T line. And BB, S dot BEBE, J-hook pattern. This is what you call three white soldiers. They take it up. Actually, you got four white soldiers in here. They take it up, they open it lower. They take it up, they open it lower. They take it up. So each day there's some profit taking. So that's a very solid uptrend. This one I wouldn't be afraid to be buying using the T-line as your stop. Buy gun stock, okay? All right. Apple. Apple pulled back right here to the T-line. Makes this very simple. If it opens positive, you've got the J-hook pattern in progress. If this is wave 1, wave 3 is going to come all the way back up toward the 500 range. And Amazon. You can be buying this, well, not necessarily buying, but at least you want to hold this one. You've got a junky, this has always been a junky trader for the last few months, but stay long as it stays above the T-line. Let's see. Vivus. Stay long, anticipating the target being the 200. Caterpillar. Caterpillar has to open positive. If it opens weaker, you're going to have a bearish doji sandwich. WLT, everybody was saying how the buyers or the insiders were buying. This one you stay long as it stays above the T-line. And ONXX is one of the ones that we've got an option trade on. With the doji gap up, you're in a 45 degree. You stay long as there's no sell signal and close below the T-line. International paper. International paper. This one you can be, I wouldn't necessarily be buying until it broke out through the congestion area. But if you're long, you stay long and you just watch more diligently once it gets to this level. See what type of signals you get there. TDC. This one is the evening star signal. And it did it right here at the 50-day moving average, which means if they start selling this off, you probably want to go short because observe the obvious. The 50 acted as resistance. You've been in a downtrend. They took it back up to the 50 and failed. You're still in a downtrend. And NBR. Same scenario here. You had an inside trading day. This was actually a bearish harami. And then they gap it down. If they open this lower, you're going to have a flutter kicker to the downside. You can see that it hit the resistance level. Where's your next target? Down here at the bottom of the trend channel, down here somewhere. So that one, you can definitely be going short on weakness tomorrow. And CLSN. Whoops. S.CLSN. I have to make this one bigger. Even that's not helping any. Well, from what I can see, there's no reason yet to be buying this one. You still need a strong buy signal on that one. Okay, we did Pfizer, GILD. This one you can be buying. Just watch to see what it does once it gets to the top of the trend channel. And SQNM. The doji gap up this one, you stay long until you see a sell signal. Sugar, shorted sugar today. Bearish engulfing. Notice the trend. The trend is down. Bearish Harami, I'm sorry. Then it closed below the T line. They couldn't get it back up above the T line. Now we're right at this level. Stochastic heading down. So if they take this down, your next support level is somewhere right down here. So trading this one short. Lilly. This one you can buy. There's your left-right combo. Doji, bullish engulfing. Then they took it up above the T line, broke this downtrending channel. This one you can be buying. Just be careful of your magnitude. So this would probably be more of a option trade. Ford, you stay long as it stays above the T line. Bristol Myers, you can be buying this one. Again, an institutional type trader, but an option trade. Seco, stay long. Let's see. We're still scrolling here. I gotta stay ahead of everybody here. GPI. GPI has to open positive and trade positive to stay in it. If it trades back below the T line, you want to close out the position. And Q has apparently a new one, not enough chart on this to give you any evaluation. TLT is the 20-year bonds. They've hit a doji too in the oversold area. Watch to see if they bounce it back up to the T line. Or if they open this lower, they're still taking it down tomorrow. Sprint, you can stay long as it stays above the T line. And NIHD. This one you want to buy if it opens positive tomorrow. It tells us the T line is not acting as resistance anymore. U.S. Steel. U.S. Steel has done the classic. Came up through the 50s, come back to test the 50 and the T line. To stay in it, it has to open positive and trade positive. If it opens lower, you could possibly be going short because it's also in a downtrend. And you're right here basically at the 50. If it opens lower, that means they could be taking it back down to test the lower end of the trend channel. GDX. This one you can be shorting on, what's that? On a weaker open tomorrow. Another one that's in a downtrend, slowly rolling over. So if they open this weaker, they're still taking it down. Q-Core has been acting strong ever since it bounced off this J-hook pattern setup. That's a morning star signal. A down day at doji, and the third day closing above the halfway point of this candle. Number one. Number two, it couldn't get below the T line, so we're in wave 3 of this J-hook pattern. Goodyear, that's sloppy. I wouldn't be long or short this stock. It's just sideways. We did AFI, we did Leeds, I think. Yes, you can be buying this one on positive trading. Let's see, is that a symbol XXI? S.XXI. That's not working. We did Seco, we did Apple, Bank of America. Bank of America, you stay long as long as it stays above the T line. Pandora. Pandora did a shooting star doji, but you're not in the overbought condition. So this one's very, very simple. If they open it lower, they're going to bring it back down and test the T line. If they open it positive, you're going to do a Doji sandwich. Faux has lost its energy. If you're out, you stay out until you see a buy signal and the close back up above the T line. Left-right combo, an SIRI. This one you can be buying on a positive open tomorrow. Just use the T line as your stop. And SPPI had a good chart to it. This one you want to be buying on a positive open tomorrow, because if they break through the 50, that's kind of a fry pan bottom breakout. That's the resistance area. If it breaks through the resistance, it's also going to be breaking through here, which puts you up into the no man's land. No, there won't be any resistance up at those levels. And ARAY, this one you can buy on positive trading. After the kind of the little rounding bottom gap up, they're still taking it higher. Las Vegas Sands also bouncing off the T line in an uptrend. Now you're at the top of the trend channel, so at best, if they break it out, you've got something going, or you're going to have a 45 degree that keeps you right going up on the top of this channel. And SBGI came back up doing a double doji. If this opens positive tomorrow, you want to buy immediately, just use the T line as your stop. HZNP. Boy, there's nothing here, but if it does open positive and starts trading back up above the T line, you just watch it to see what it does once it gets back to the resistance level. At some point, after they've based it along, they're going to along this level, they will break it out. It's just whether you've hit the right time to get into it. Now the SPY, these are all slow uptrends, and the diamonds. UUP, this one you can be buying on positive trading tomorrow. This is the U.S. dollar. Yeah, the dollar is still acting strong. We did MLXN or MLNX. Double doji. This one has to open higher tomorrow. Stay in it. If it opens lower, close out the position. And BSFT. Stay long as it stays above the T line, because you're still in the fry pan bottom. Even though you have soggy days, the trajectory is still fry pan bottom. UNXL, you should have been out of once it came back down through the T line. Oh, that's just great. UNXL. So this one you should have been out of here the last few days, because it's run out of steam. Now, what's it probably doing? It's probably lollygagging until the 50 catches up, and then you might start seeing buy signals at that point. Crocs, all you can do is stay long until you see a sell signal and a close back below the T line. Now, you might use today's low as your stop, because if it comes down through there, they're probably bringing it back down to test that T line. Let's see, MCP we did, right? That's the wrong MCP. This one is probably going to be in a 45 degree to the upside. Dunkin' Donuts. This one has to open positive and trade positive to stay in it. Okay, we did Apple, we did Pfizer. Instead of buying the stock, I buy deep, D-A-I-N, deep in money. Okay. call options. All right, that's another way to do it. That's another strategy. Yeah, usually you want, the deeper the money, you're in the money, the less premium they're paying because everybody wants to speculate. So they're going to pay up for the ones where they get leverage up either at the money or out of the money. Let's see, we did CLF. Nokia, nice gap up out of the kind of the resistance level. Stay long, but I would use the low of today as a stop. Let's see, we did all those. A few more. TRX, THRX. Another one, you stay long using, there's your left-right combo breakout, probably on a 45 degrees, so use the low of today as your stop. HCI, that one's not coming up for some reason. HCI, that one is. This one, you definitely would like to see a positive open. If they open it lower, they're going to test the T-line. At that point, you have to decide whether to come out and get back in or wait to see what it does at the T-line. This is kind of your double doji prior to this big candle. Now this big candle, you want to be a buyer on positive trading. Use the 50 as your stop. Let's see, we did all those. INVN. INVN, this one, if it opens positive tomorrow, it's coming out of the consolidation, you can be buying. And GLD, S.GLD. This one, if it opens weaker, you can be going short. That's gold. Java. Bearish left-right combo. If this one opens weaker tomorrow, that tells you this fry-pan bottom has failed. But then you see what it does at the 50. See if it's setting up for a cup and handle. PAMT. This one did a doji today. If it opens positive, you want to be buying because that means they're going to still take it up. If they break through here, they're breaking out into new territory. Okay, let's see. I think we've got them all here. The actual book is much bigger than the e-book. Yes. Was MNKD a kicker signal? No. Well, this right here was kind of your little kicker signal. Opened here and closed here, then they gapped it open and went this way. So that's like a little kicker signal. But a true kicker signal is a big red candle followed by a big green candle. I thought Vivus was a good day for a new buy, not just stay long. Vivus. Vivus can still be bought, yes, because it's now just breaking out through this level right here with the anticipation it's going up to the 200. Could you elaborate on the difference between a buy pattern and a hold till a sell signal? Well, buy signal is usually where you want to buy it, down where the stochastics are in the oversold area. And as it's moving up, you can still hold after it's moved up, but it may not necessarily be a good buy up here. It's just a hold. What we're looking for is a buy signal to tell us to get back in to be a buy. So, for example, here was a nice buy signal right in here with a hammer, bullish confirmation, or a double doji, bullish confirmation. So this is where you wanted to be buying. Is it still going to go up from here? More than likely, but now this isn't a buy area. This is more of a hold area until you start seeing the sell signals. So we're going to be looking at a lot of the stocks that have moved up nicely, but now we're just looking at it moving up nicely, waiting to take profits versus buying them in here. CELG, where would you put a sell stop? Below the T line. This is a nice fry pan bottom with a breakout. So if this should be breaking out, moving in this direction, it shouldn't come back below the T line. Okay. Watch your magnitude. It's better for an option. There's some stocks, like, for example, Pfizer. Pfizer's got a good chart to it, but if it moves, it may only move 2 points. In 2 points on a $29 stock, that's not enough to really want to sink a lot of money into. If I've got a nice pattern, I want a stock that has the potential of moving 10, 12, 14, 20, 40%, not just 6 or 8%. So even though the pattern is good, to buy this stock probably isn't worthwhile, but maybe trading the option is much more worthwhile. Yeah, and I know you're all waiting to see who might have the opportunity to play the Penguins. I know you're all rooting for the Penguins. EXXI shows that it wasn't going to trade back below the T line. This one can still be bought on positive trading tomorrow. And GUNP. There's no symbol. That's a that's a lap. UVXY. Yeah. There's nothing here that would make you want to buy this stock that I can see. Had the breakout, failed at the 50, now back in the downtrend. And JCPenney. JCPenney, just be a little bit careful. They've gapped it up, broken it, but already selling off. So all you can do at this point is watch to see when the selling is over, see the next buy signal, then you can be buying. But it's also coming out of this fry pan bottom. Notice it gapped out to start the uptrend, and right now it's still above the T line. So if I was buying this, I'd wait to see when the profit taking is over. GRPN, this one, exactly the same thing, where they gapped it up, sold it off. Now that told us the buyer was stepping in. This told us the buyer was stepping in. This one you can be buying. Just use the T line as your stop. A bearish J hook. Oh, let's see. Bearish J hook. Bearish J hook. Here's the setup for kind of a bearish J hook. Downtrend, came back up. Now this is feeder cattle. Looks like it's starting to sell off a little bit. So if it started selling off, you'd have a bearish J hook. We'll be purchasing several commodity downloads. Great info. Thanks. Okay. When is the option trading going to start? I think Wednesday night. Let me see if the works for the schedule. If it is, we'll let everybody know. Okay, let's call it a night. We'll see everybody in the chat room tomorrow. Have a good evening.